Hey guys, good afternoon. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you. I'm actually here at Montclair State University, a little bit quiet, just sitting in Panera. I was doing some studying after a class and just thought I would go ahead and shoot today's show. Well, it's great to be with you. If you're new here, well, welcome. And if you're coming back, well, welcome back. Our master topic for the week is building a better world through love, resilience, and renewal. I apologize if we get some noise. Sometimes there's some students that are walking in and out and they're a little loud. So unfortunately, we might get people that are talking in the background. And I do apologize for that. Most of the people are leaving now. It's 5 o'clock, so we shouldn't really be having anybody else here bother us. But today's granular topic is about lead and uplift communities with integrity and care. We're series 4, show 21, episode number 3. If you guys are hot or hungry or anything, go to the kitchen, get yourself something delicious. Maybe it's ice cream, maybe it's something hot, maybe it's something cold, maybe it's fruit, maybe it's something tasty, maybe it's something healthy. Whatever it is, feel free to get that. And it's funny because before we were getting nobody here, and then beside I go live, people start coming around. So hopefully it'll be quiet, but we'll see what happens. So welcome everyone. Do check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations, which you can do 24 hours a day, incidentally. But let's kick into the show, shall we? All right, everyone. So in this inspiring episode, we dive into what it truly means to lead with heart. Elevate others and make a lasting impact. Leadership isn't about status, it's about service. Uplifting communities starts with integrity, deep care, and a commitment to empower, not overpower. Whether you're a business leader, community organizer, or simply someone who wants to make a difference, this episode will provide you with real actionable insights that could transform the way you show up for others. Now, tune in every day because we have some great insights every day. And I break down the pillars of authentic leadership and the small yet mighty ways you can help others rise with integrity. Lighting the path forward is what we're talking about. So, number one, guys, is leadership begins with listening, okay? It begins with listening, and true leadership, everyone, I don't know if you know this, doesn't start with a megaphone. Okay, it starts with an open ear. When you take the time to actively listen to those around you, um, you're going to find that you gain more than just information. You gain trust, you get respect, and you get connection. Now, listening validates others and shows that you care about more than just outcomes. You care about people in the world filled with this world that unfortunately has a lot of noise. Being the person who truly hears what others, are about, I think is what's important. And it's really rare that we find that. And it's a powerful gift that we need to harness and learn how to develop. So great leaders are often quiet first. They gather insights and understandings before offering any kind of guidance or making decisions. True leaders want to be quiet. They want to observe. They want to listen. And then maybe they'll offer some advice, okay? But it's not about them. It's about how they can inspire the world. Number two, guys. Number two is integrity is non-negotiable. Integrity is the invisible thread that holds your leadership together. It's doing what's right, even when no one's watching. When you lead with honesty and moral courage, you not only earn respect, you build a legacy. See, communities thrive when their leaders are consistent, transparent, I should say. And in addition to being transparent, they are also fair. So I think that's an important thing to understand is that, they are fair. Integrity means aligning your words with your actions and standing up for what's just. So even when it's unpopular or maybe it's a little difficult, it's not a badge you wear. It's a standard you live by day in and day out. All right. So that's important to realize. It's not about you coming to the top. It's about you starting to understand culture, understanding other people. Number 3, care is a strength. Many mistake compassion for weakness, but care is one of the leadership's most vital strengths. When you lead with genuine concern for others' well-being, you create psychological safety, you build loyal relationships, and inspire deeper collaboration. Showing care isn't just about being kind, it's about being present, responsive, and human. It empowers people to bring their full selves into a community or a workplace. Now, leaders who care leave a mark. that outlast strategies or profits. They leave a legacy of love and, of course, connection. Number 4, empower others, don't control them. This is important. The best leaders that I have known are those who create more leaders, not more followers. You see, empowerment means trusting others with responsibilities, encouraging their growth, okay, and giving them the tools and the freedom to succeed. And it's not about micromanaging, folks. It's about mentorship. When you release the need to control and instead focus on uplifting others, well, you foster a culture of creativity, ownership, and resilience. And so control creates dependency, empowerment creates leaders. Number 5, small acts create big ripples. Never underestimate the power of a simple act of kindness, that is, right? And so, or encouragement. And so sometimes the smallest gestures, like remembering someone's name, acknowledging their effort, or offering support, got to have a little water here, can really spark the biggest changes. And a side note here, which is interesting, something they do at this Panera. No other Panera in the world does this. So I didn't bring my RO water with me today, and I was having something because everything at the university is basically closed. Panera was the only thing open, and they closed at 3:00. I wanted to get water, right? So in order to get water here, like to get like a cup and fill it up, well, they don't do that. They charge $3 for a cup of water. If that isn't insane, I don't know what is. So I bought this Dasani water here for like, I think it was like $2.50. So I think that was a ripoff. But I wanted some water to go with. I had a special. I had a tomato soup combo with a grilled cheese, a little mini grilled cheese they had. And then I had a brownie. All right. So I just thought I would bring that up because that was something that kind of bothered me a little bit. And I wanted to share that with you guys. All right. So when we think about, again, how these small acts, they do create big ripples. These small acts build connection. They allow us to build not only that, but morale and momentum. The ripple outward, influencing others to do the same over time. What may seem like a minor moment of leadership compounds into a major cultural shift that defines communities and transforms lives. I always said, it's not about what you're doing today. It's about the movement you're creating. But when you're doing that with integrity, well, everybody just wants to be on board. Number 4, be the role model you needed that you never got. Think back to a time when you felt lost, maybe you're uncertain or stuck. What kind of leader did you wish you had? Now, go back into that time of your mind and become that person for someone else to help them along their journey. Being a role model isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity, humility, and consistent growth. When others see you acting with intention, owning your mistakes, and staying true to your values, they're inspired to rise up too. Be the light that reminds others it's possible to lead with grace and courage. And I think that's a powerful thing, ladies and gentlemen. When we learn to lead with grace and courage, it's like we found a new formula for living. Number 7, community first, ego is last. I've always told you guys before, just leave those egos at the door. There's no room for them, right? Community always comes first. When your leadership centers on serving the community rather than boosting your own image, well, everything just sort of changes. Leading with humility means prioritizing the collective over the personal. It's not about accolades. It's about impact. Ego-driven decisions may feel good in the short term, right? But community-driven actions build true trust, resilience, and long-term success. Now, true leaders don't climb alone. They lift others as they rise. And that's something I always want to do every single day. I want to help other people rise. And I think sometimes when we think about this in our own lives, it's like, well, what am I getting out of it? And I think if you've got to look that hard and say, what are you getting out of it? then I think you're missing a very, very big part of life, a part that's about us working together. And I think that's something that a lot of people, just don't understand. So this is the part in the program where I want to basically give you basically a personal lesson and story for basically each point. And it's my hope that by doing this, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm not only going to help you remember these points, but they're going to actually inspire you to take action that you might have never done before in your life. And I think that's something that a lot of people, they get stuck because they're saying, well, it's not popular to be a leader. Well, I got news for you. It is popular to be a leader. And if you're worried about being unpopular, okay, you got to realize that it starts with you inside. You can't be worrying about what other people think. You can't be worried that they may not like you or they don't like the tactic you're taking, right? No one, not everyone is going to love you, okay, or like you. I'm just going to be very flat honest and just be really, how do I say this? To be very, let's say, blunt and outward. And I do that, guys, right? I share being blunt because I think many times in our world, we're afraid to show up and be blunt because we're so worried about offending somebody else's feelings, right? So leadership begins with listening, right? Personal lesson and story that I want to share in my life. I think this is a really good one. Early in my career, I was part of a tech startup team where ideas flew faster than they could be written down. Everyone wanted their voice heard, but no one really took the time to listen to anyone else. Our project hit a wall at one time, and morale just dropped like that. One afternoon, our project lead called a meeting, but instead of talking, he sat back and asked each person to share what they really felt. No interruptions, no rebuttals, just listening. When it was my turn, I spoke honestly for the first time in weeks and felt ahead. And that meeting changed everything for me. And that was a very, very important point in our life to know that that made a difference, not only in my life, but in a lot of other people's lives. Okay. And this was actually IBM. I can't tell you the client we were working for, but this was a gig I was doing just out of college. And I was with the project for 3 months, and then it went, I think, to another 6. And then we finished up with like 14 months total. So just listening is important. As I said, when it was my turn, I spoke honestly from the heart for the first time I had in weeks because I was so afraid about what everyone else would think about me or that, I'm just a graduate and, how would people take me seriously? But then I realized it was about my belief. And when I started trusting in myself, other people did too. See, productivity then started to rise. Trust returned, all because of, one leader realizing and listening and building the bridge to genuine leadership. I helped become that leader, but it was another leader that gave me the chance to speak on the floor. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. Since then, I've learned that before you can speak out loud, listen twice as hard. Number 2, integrity is non-negotiable, folks. Personal lesson, a story here. Years ago, I worked with a nonprofit where funds were tight, and the pressure to stretch the truth on grant applications was very intense. Well, one board member even suggested we fudge a few numbers just to get us through, he said, quote unquote. Our executive director shut the conversation down immediately. She said, quote, if we can't be honest with those who trust us, then we're not fit to lead them, close quote. I love that statement that she said. We didn't get that grant, but we gained something even more important, a reputation. Later, a different foundation awarded us double the funding because they had heard we were an organization that wouldn't compromise its values. That moment taught me that integrity means it could be a high cost and one that's not just about money. And something that may seem to just be for today could impact you the rest of your life, but it pays you to be honest right away. When people know you're going to be honest, you're going to be given a fair share. You might miss the diamond of the Ferrari today, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of those in the future because there is so much abundance for those that can live with true integrity in their heart. Care is strength, guys. personal lesson in this. I'll never forget the time I led a team during a difficult project launch. Tensions were really high. One of our best developers, Alex, started missing deadlines. Instead of reprimanding him, I invited him for a coffee and a chat. And I asked him, "Hey, Alex, how are you?" He goes, "I'm okay." I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Well, not really. You see, my father is sick and he'd been quietly struggling. I gave him the time off he needed and reassigned his task to someone else. When he returned, he was not only more productive, he was so loyal in a way that is rare today. That moment proved to me that showing care isn't a distraction from business, it is the business of leadership. And I think some people get, let's say, afraid to do this because they feel that they're going to miss the numbers. Well, I got news for you. Those numbers, if you show a little bit of care and compassion to someone, could triple or quadruple. You have to remember this, and this came from a great person that was on my show, Jen Drummond. People before peaks. Now, she climbs mountains, right? And she's also a keynote speaker. And so, there were a lot of challenges when she was climbing these mountains. If you want to go back, you can check that show out. It's definitely here in the archives. Just search for Jen Drummond and resilience, and you'll find it. I think the important thing about her was that when she could say, "You know what, we have to turn around," or "It's not my mountain." And when you say that people are more important than peaks, people are more important than, let's say, the highest point, that's powerful, guys. Empower others. Don't control them. Personal lesson here. I used to believe being a good leader meant having all the answers. Then I mentioned a young woman named Carla. Instead of micromanaging her, I encouraged her to lead a campaign. We'd usually hand to a senior manager. I gave guidance, but let her run with it. The results blew us away. Not only did she exceed our expectations, but she also became the go-to innovator on our team from now on. When you trust people with real responsibility, they rise. Letting go of control doesn't weaken your leadership. It strengthens and empowers your team. And when they shine, so will you. Again, I apologize for some of the noise in the background. We are at a school and we're getting people that are pretty much walking it around. I'm at a coffee place. And unfortunately, there are people still here. Campus is kind of closed today, but it's like a summer, but there are still people walking around and you just never know. Usually I go to the library and shoot, but I said, let me just come here and do this today. It's probably going to be quiet. But of course, when I decide to go live, there's some people that happen to pop in. They want to look and see what I'm doing. Some are talking like, what's he doing? Anyway, getting back to this. Number 5, small acts create big ripples in life. So personal lesson here. One December, I noticed a quiet janitor who always worked late and never spoke much. One night, I simply said, thank you for everything you do here. It matters. His eyes just welled up. He said, no one, John, ever thanked me, ever. That stunned him. The next week, he brought in cookies for the entire floor. He started chatting with people, smiling more. The workplace energy lifted because of one sentence. And our place was never cleaner. I mean, it was always spotless, but now it was like a total difference. It was like 100 times, like it was sparkling now. I learned that you don't need to be in charge to lead. Leadership is a daily practice of small, meaningful acts that lead lasting impressions. And number 6, guys, be the role model you needed. So the lesson here is when I was in college as an undergrad, I'm back in college now for my master's and then my PhD, I felt incredibly lost. I had no mentor, no guidance. I made it through though, but it was rough. Years later, I met a freshman named Jordan who reminded me of myself, quiet, unsure, overwhelmed, and I decided to take him under my wing and be his mentor. I never had done that before. Did weekly check-ins with him, encouraging texts, helping him find his voice. 4 years later, I watched him deliver a graduation speech, bold, articulate, and confident. He told the audience, one person believing in me changed everything. And as he said that, people were like, wow. And I was in the audience. And he said, the person that inspired me is right here before us. John, would you please stand up? And to make sure it was the right person, he's like, Mr. John C. Morley, would you please stand up? You deserve an applause. Not only did he applaud me, I got a standing ovation. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of true belief. And I wasn't expecting any of that. That day, I realized leadership is not about being impressive. It's about being there. Be who you once needed. You never know what it will do in the future for someone else or even you. Number 7, community first, ladies and gentlemen, and ego last. I know this is hard with a lot of the materialistic world we live in. When organizing a local fundraiser, I was tempted to plaster my name all over the event. After all, I had done the most work, but something didn't sit right with me. I stepped back and instead gave the credit to the volunteers. The event was a hit, and people felt deeply connected to the cause that I was supporting, not to me, but to each other. And that was the goal. Leadership isn't about claiming the spotlight. It's about turning the spotlight toward others, serving the community with humility. And by doing that, it brings a deeper fulfillment than any award or recognition could ever do. And as I ponder here with you today, and we think about leadership, right? What are the many ways you can be a leader? Well, that's a tough one, guys. There are a lot. One way you can be a leader is personal leadership. Before you can ever lead anyone in this world, you have to acknowledge that you've got to lead yourself first. Set clear values, take responsibility, practice discipline, and follow through on the commitments that you make. I think that's something that a lot of people today miss. They don't understand like what that means. And I think that's something that we all maybe need to learn, is that it comes down to who you are, right? It comes down to what you're doing. And maybe you're saying to me, John, like, well, I don't get that. Well, maybe you should. And so thinking about personal leadership, making healthy choices mentally, emotionally, and physically and spiritually, waking up early and getting a jump start in your life. Professional leadership is another great one. Making an impact at your work, mentoring a colleague, or helping a new team member on board, bringing solutions, not just problems, to the table. Volunteer for projects that align with your strengths and values. Create a positive, inclusive, and ethical work environment. I've always said this before to many people. If you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. Community leadership. Help your neighborhood or local groups thrive. Organize or volunteer events or causes. Serve on a local board, nonprofit, or even a civic group. Be a connector. Introduce people who can help one another. Advocate for change or improvements in your area. I think those are the things we have to realize. And of course, if you have a family, there's family leadership. Model patience, communication, and responsibility. Create space for open dialogues and shared discussions, and support family members emotionally and practically. Encourage healthy habits and lifelong learning. It's not just about having compassion. It's about empathy. And we talked about this before. Compassion is one thing, right? Empathy is another. So I think a lot of people actually start showing empathy first, but they don't do compassion. Empathy is when I want to put myself in your shoes and kind of let you feel comfortable. But when I do compassion, it's when I'm willing to take an action to help you get out of that situation or to get you to take an action. Number 5, thoughtful leadership. Inspire and challenge others intellectually. Share your insights through writing, speaking, or even creating. Start conversations that spark learning or change. Offer unique perspectives that elevate dialogue. Stay informed and stay curious. Post helpful, value-packed content on LinkedIn or in your blog can be a position in getting you to be a voice of guidance. You guys know that I've been a national keynote for quite a while, but I never knew in the beginning how impactful, how one video I post reached right now over 530,000 people. Relational leadership. Lead through every day interactions. Be the one who brings people together. Offer support, feedback, or encouragement when someone needs it. De-escalate conflicts or misunderstandings with empathy. Recognize the contributions of others. Notice when someone's having a rough day and offer to listen. It's a subtle but yet powerful way to show a great form of leadership. Creative or visionary leadership. Inspire new possibilities through creativity and vision. Lead a creative project or a campaign. Start something new, a group, an initiative, or a business. Help others see a better future or solution. Bring energy and optimism to the unknown. Funding a local group. Could be LGBTQ. It could be some political group. It could be helping friends have new experiences. It could be a visionary action, right? Whatever it is, make sure you do something that changes the world. Number 8, advocacy and local, I'm going to say social leadership. Stand up, speak out, use your voice to amplify marginalized communities. Get involved in activism or allyship. Educate others about injustices or reforms. Be brave enough to stand alone when it's right. Attend a town hall meeting at your borough or your town or even your school or your college, and write letters to representatives about needs for change and civic leadership as it's starting at its best. Number 9, spiritual leadership and moral leadership. Be a compass for others. Model compassion, forgiveness, and purpose. Create safe spaces for reflection and support. Serve others without needing recognition. Be grounded in values and faith, whatever form that takes for you. Support someone through grief with empathy and presence. It's soul level leadership. Number 10, lead for the future, not just now. Teach what you know, document your wisdom, build something lasting, relationships, values, knowledge, or community. Mentor the next generation of leaders. Share your story with young people to help them believe in themselves. Plant seeds for tomorrow like I did with that college graduate. You don't need a podium to be a leader, folks. You just need a heart packed with passion, truth, and intention. That will give you the voice and the willingness to act, whether you're uplifting one person or an entire community. Leadership shows up in how you serve, how you decide to enact those thoughts into action, and how you make others feel. I'll end with this. People may forget what you gave them. People may forget maybe what you did for them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Make sure you make everyone in your life feel special. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, a pleasure, and honor to be with you during these amazing days, nights, weekends, and whenever I'm here on Inspirations for Your Life. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Be well, everyone, and start leading with some great leadership.